Yeah, just let me know whenever.
And I don't know what
Mario.
about it, so I'll go to you first.
Yeah.
I'll leave that there now. Brandon, take it on next time. Shut up.
Just hold it. Hold.
Okay. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Hair and mustache.
See that toad. Ah, my.
All right, Kim, whenever you're ready.
Hey everyone, we're going live.
We're going live now. Live from Saturday night.
Ready? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regular public council meeting for Tuesday, March 18, 2025, here in the town of Torbay. First off, new business, Councillor Tepper. Councillor Pollard,
Pass.
Deputy Mayor.
Oh, I got a list. Pass. I saw the way Tony looked at me.
All right. I just got, thanks, that's all. All right. There's nobody here to get on the Q&A. I didn't get any emails, so that's sad. All right, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried, thank you. We have a set of public council minutes from March 3rd. Could I get a motion to adopt, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried, thank you. Conflict of interest, there's no little slip tonight. Proclamations, presentations, Q&A. We do have a presentation to make to the DARE program. Sergeant Cunningham is here, and the floor is yours. Now you can come up and explain to us a little bit about what the DARE program is.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Scott and members of council. My name is Julie Cunningham, and I'm the supervisor with Community Services of the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. I'm very pleased to be here this evening to accept a donation to the DARE program. The DARE program is actually an international program. It's a law enforcement program that's designed to prepare students for junior high and beyond by giving them tools in peer pressure, bullying, stress, and just how to deal with a number of situations. The RNC, we have a full-time community services section, and we have 4 officers dedicated almost full-time to delivering DARE within our schools on the Northeast Avalon and also in all of our jurisdictions. We're very pleased to be here to accept this donation because, as I said, the program is funded by donations such as this. Actually, it costs approximately $30,000 a year to support the DARE program, and that funding comes through donations such as this. So the donations actually go toward workbooks for the students and graduation t-shirts. So we're very pleased to be able to accept this donation. And the RNC actually has a number of members on the DARE Canada training team. So we're quite proud of the DARE program as it supports what we believe in, working with communities to build safe and healthy communities. The DARE program does just that. It brings police together with the students within our schools who are the leaders of tomorrow, with the parents and caregivers when we bring them in at graduation to talk to them about what the students have learned. And it also allows us to work closely with our school teachers and administrators. So it does very much that, bring the community together. So thank you, Torbay, for your support in our program. It is beyond appreciated. And thank you for having me this evening.
Excellent,
If
thank you.
anyone had any questions, I could certainly answer that as well.
Anybody got any comments or questions?
No. Good.
Well, thank you for coming in. And I know that both of my kids went through the DARE program, and it's excellent. And I think about when we were kids, when I was a kid, the only DARE program you had was your grandmother or your mother said, "I dare you to touch that." So, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I know that this program is excellent, and my kids really enjoyed it, and the benefits are clear to see. And I know that this is the first year that we've actually increased the amount of money that we're donating because council felt that it was a very worthwhile program, and the amount of money, I don't remember how much it was, $250 maybe we were given to it. didn't really reflect the importance of that program to the kids going to school here in Torbay. So that's why we increased it to 1,500, is it?
1,500, yeah.
And hopefully that'll go a long way to being able to, for you guys to be able to do your job. So I'm going to get up now and give you our big check.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor Scott and members of council.
Thank you.
Oh, now this is one all of us should be up on. Because it's important. Yeah.
Sandy, get in. Okay. Okay, scrunch in a little there. My dad, it's all out of film.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
That's the real thing.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'll let you continue on with your business. Thank you.
Sure you don't want to stay?
All right, where am I? Oops. All right, so, yeah, I got nothing to report. I'll report Friday. Business Horizon report.
Bye.
Anything there? Okay. Correspondence. We have a correspondence from M&L regarding municipal symposium scheduled for May 1st to the 3rd. If anybody's interested in going, the registration's opening soon, right, Kim?
It's already open.
Already open. Well, there you go. Better get your name in. Urban and Rural Planning Act amendments. This is for information purposes only. Okay, thank you. Committees of Council. Planning, Land Use Development. Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. I didn't sit in on the meeting, so Councillor Tapper and Deputy Mayor sat in. I don't know what they did because there's nothing here. Anyway.
They were efficient.
I digress.
They're efficient, yeah.
There's only one motion, so the motion is to accept the permit listings for the weekend in the 13th of March 2025 as tabled. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Just on that, Your Worship, there is a lot on the go in the Planning and Development Department at this point in time. Just some things take a while to get to the motion stage, so.
No doubt. Anybody have any questions on anything on that report?
Could I just mention something?
Go ahead.
Under larger files, we always have a list there. And I get comments on around the community of what's on the Golden Torbay,
Yep.
especially with seniors, is there any development on the horizon? And even now that we're in the housing. But there's lists of major developments here, you know, in the main line, there's 49 units, 45 units, 28 units. So it's worthwhile, I think, to put this somewhere under communications and get out into the community, because people are looking, you know, especially for people like myself,
Mhm.
who may be moving out of our own home and into a new, smaller home. So just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, and to your point, I'm sure that all of these went out for discretionary use notifications, so people should pay attention to those notices when they go out, in case they have any comment they want to make. Right, anything else? Okay, admin and HR Deputy Mayor.
Second now, till I get down that far. Moving so fast. There's no motions in here. The big one that's in here is number 1, and that is the museum manager for History House Museum. And that is, I'd like to congratulate that Donna Norby has accepted the role of museum manager, and that became effective last week on the 13th. So big congratulations to Donna in going into that role. The rest of it is just basically items, it's just bringing forward from the last couple of meetings with updates in there. So if anybody's got any questions,
Okay, any questions? No, all right, thank you.
okay.
Corporate Services, Councilor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. Once again, it was on the same day, so I did not attend. Councilor Tapper, and I think Councilor or Deputy Mayor attended for that as well. You want to go through it? You go for it, yep. I'll let Ralph take that one.
Just to mention a few items, the regular stuff, payroll process for February 27th to March 12th, in the amount of $49,760.86 was that report was reviewed. Under accounts payable February 26th to March 11th, 48 invoices in the amount of $524,837.88 processed. We had some discussion on cybersecurity insurance coverage. We discussed that issue in detail, and I requested that a representative from Cal Monroe Insurance Company speak to the committee about coverage, so that we'll arrange that meeting. Under number 2, the corporate services committee motions. Motion number 1, concern the invoices over $5,000 for council approval, total $508,420.79. So I'll go down through the list. Invoice number S0070440, A. Harvey and Company, Winterwalk Village Road South, $30,052.21. Invoice 19081, Cattle Road Insurance Limited, General Insurance 2025, $175,624.05. Invoice March 2025, Canada Life Group Insurance for March, $15,503.10. Invoice E600000241115, GFL Environmental, February collection, $60,919.99. Invoice February 2025, CIBC Mellon pension contribution for February, $29,158.26. Invoice FT 859961, Harvey's Oil Limited diesel expense, $7,291.23. Invoice FT 861370, Harvey's Oil Limited diesel expense, $7,007.87.30. Invoice 103220000222725, Newfoundland Power Inc., street lighting, $19,630. Yes, invoice February 16/28, payroll remittance, $50,846.80. Invoice 2025 donation, Torbay Folk Arts Council Inc., annual donation $5,000. Invoice 236650, Triware prepaid IT support $5,750. Invoice 236827, Triware annual Adobe license $10,954.57. Invoice 268852, Wares Construction, Winter Road Salt restock $15,745.46. Invoice Invoice A0729714, WHSCC 2025 WHSCC assessment, $70,672.26. Invoice 2021542, WSP E&I Canada Limited, North Pond Water Treatment, $5,481.48. And that is the list, so I move payment for those invoices.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments or questions? Brian, how's the salt situation looking with the new salt shed? Better, or do you notice a difference?
The salt is a lot better spread and everything, but unfortunately this year we did go through a lot of product and that's what we had to restock on some of it.
Okay.
It was one of those winters.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Motion number 2, 2024 Canada Community Building Fund Annual Expenditure Report. The town has received the audited 2024 Canada Community Building Fund Annual Expenditure Report from the auditor Richard Power, Chartered Professional Accountant. The committee recommends approval of the audited 2024 CCBF AER and requests the signature of the mayor and the AER to indicate council's approval. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Motion 3, donation request, Caden Stoke. Torbay athlete has been selected to represent Team Canada at the World Cup in Turkey, being one of the only 10 Canadians and the sole Newfoundlander chosen for this prestigious event. So the committee recommends the council approve a donation of $500 to assist the Torbay athlete in offsetting the travel costs to the World Cup in Turkey. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
I get a question as to the amount, and I'm not against, and I hate asking the question, but this seems to be a little bit more than we have traditionally been providing, and I realize it's maybe a world stage and a limited number of invitees, I guess, to this particular event. I just want to make sure that we have something solid as comparative purposes, I guess, for anything else we might do down the road, so we can compare and make sure that the $500 would be warranted on something equal to this going forward as opposed to 200. I know when it came across, and I know I sent back to David that I would have recommended the $200 myself, but obviously there was discussion afterwards, so I'm just curious to see why the other ones that are coming up are 200 and this one's 500. Just want to make sure we don't set ourselves up for why this one and not that one.
Well, we did, like you mentioned, discuss this and spent some time at it actually, but not only this one, but because we do have a donation policy, but it's not clear, the different levels are not really clarified. So if you're looking at this, for instance, on an international level, so our director is going to go back and take a look at it and clarify it even more, and go from the international, national, provincial, municipal, local level, and update the policy that way. I'm not sure if you got.
I'd just like to add that we did discuss it, and I guess the fact that we're sending $200 to some people that are going to a local tournament, and there was a lot of discussion, and then we have other people who are literally trying out for a provincial team, and they're trying out for a national team, but this is one of a couple that's actually on the team. And I think after we talked this and looked at different things with it, options that a young man at this level, I think that, in my opinion, and we looked at it, and deserves a little bit more than the standard amount. So the director is going to put that down in, like the Councillor Tapper said, in depending on what level, and if it's local, provincial, or national. So.
Okay.
So I guess takeaways, we're going to refine the policy a bit more and bring it back again, yeah.
Well,
And
I know that was one of the things when I sent this back with comments for that policy. That's got to be considered a living policy, because right away we had two that really were not obvious from that. So then it's opportunity to go back and update it on an ongoing basis.
Okay. Right. Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So motion 4, donation request, Caitlin Maynard, a Torbay athlete, has been selected to participate in the Skate Canada Cup Synchro Skating Nationals in Waterloo, Ontario, The committee recommends the council approve a donation of $200 to assist the Torbay athlete in offsetting the travel costs to Skate Canada, Canada Cup Synchro Skating Nationals in Waterloo, Ontario. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And motion 5, a donation request for John Ayers. A Torbay athlete has been selected to be part of the Team NL Karate Provincial Team and will be competing in Kata and Kumite events at the national level. So the committee recommends the council approve donation of $200 to assist the Torbay athlete in offsetting the registration fees for the national event where they will compete in Kata and Kumite.
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 Kumite?
Kumite.
Kumite, whatever. So moved.
Somewhere.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That's my report.
All right, thank you very much.
But just on that donation policy, when we go back and review it again, it's shocking, and listen, we're all amiss because it was out and circulated, and we provided comments, and we really didn't incorporate necessarily all the comments there in terms of levels. But like a Team Canada event, and I look at that, we also wonder how much, or I wonder how much money we get from a Team Canada as a national organization as well, right? You would think that anyone going on a national would have some Team Canada money as well, that type of thing. So maybe we know more about the funding sources for the particular events as well, once they put the application in, because the application process, I think, is great now that it comes out and you have to fill out your form and apply for it. And maybe just get a little more information on those in terms of what other funding sources there are, and we get a better idea. Just a suggestion.
Good idea, Mr. Chair. You're chair of that committee.
More work for you.
Very good. Okay, thank you. All right, Economic Development and Tourism. Deputy Mayor.
Okay, we met last Monday. And Rhonda attended for Councillor Tapper. And Carrie, Donna, Cameron, and Derek were in attendance. It's pretty much straightforward here again. The History House basement, that's with regards to the report for the mold. Do we have an update on when we might get something back on that, Carrie?
Not yet. They're preparing the report, so it should be fairly soon, I would think.
Yeah, no, that's what I was.
Work is done, they're just waiting on the report.
Yeah. Because now that, I guess I wouldn't want to be any issues up there with the mold. Immigration Settlement Coordinator, she was at our meeting as well, actually, and she gave a report, website update, looking 4 to 5 months to launch that site. Best of Torbay update. This is something that I guess we need to, was probably being promoted by different groups, but nominations are open, and I noticed that there's one in the recreation and that as well. But the more we get that out in the community and talk to people about getting some nominations, because there's quite a lot in there, and we wouldn't want to see some categories not getting any nominations. The study is listed there again. Torbay Talks is now live, that's ongoing. And the update for the History House, even though there's a report there with the new manager that I mentioned earlier about being Donna, congratulations again. And now they're in the process, HR, in backfilling in her position. The work on the Bradbury Memorial is moving forward, and this is something that they're in place, so they've distributed to 3 local firms to get the best price, and a vulnerable sector check for volunteers. That's something else that I guess anybody that's volunteering in the community, and I even brought it up thinking, but councillors don't have to, is my understanding, because I said, like, we're volunteers as well. Never hit me before. But anybody that's volunteering, the importance of getting those checks done. And anyway, that's it. Oh, there's been a significant interest in the History House Museum for a film location for independent film. And attached to that is the actual History House from Donna update, and saying that basically for February, the amount of people that went through. So if anybody has got any, it's worth noting, I think, that even with the volunteers that are up there, just to do, bring it to everybody's attention, that there was 39.75 hours in volunteer at the History House, even in February. And there's really a good lot of programs that'll be there for the children and that coming up in the next few months. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at it. They're having the Hall of Fame committee was formed, and they are looking for submissions and the deadline. So that's another one. I don't know if that's included on the big one that's gone out for the 26th, but I know it's going to be announced on the 26th as well. I don't know if, Jen, if that's included on the big one. To go back when I look at the report, the one for the History House. But anyway, just to mention it to people in the community, and hopefully that will get some interest and get some people nominated. Anybody got any questions on it? There's a lot of good information there about different things coming up.
No, but I do have a question though regarding the vulnerable sector check. I know that
Yeah.
when I volunteered with the Killycoast Games, the coach, even though I was a member of council, I still had to get a vulnerable sector check done. Right? So I don't know that just because you're a member of council.
Well, that's what
excludes you.
came up that day at the meeting, so maybe that's something then.
So maybe we should all get one
Sandy
anyway.
work checking into, because there's a lot of people here, and I know even with me being involved with
Right.
different things, volunteering and that'd be the last thing that you'd want to.
If you're volunteering with an organization and that organization requires a vulnerable sector check, you are required whether you're on council or not,
So maybe we should all get one, fill it out, and send it in.
if you're doing volunteer work, yeah.
Yeah,
At least we're
Okay.
comfortable.
so maybe Kim, you could send out the form to all of us, and, yeah, make sure that we don't,
Mhm.
as well I think of it now, that'll be gone again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not required to serve on council, but it is required to do volunteer
No,
work.
yeah, so
yeah.
even if it's a volunteer.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mary. Deputy
Okay.
Mayor. All right, where am I to? Infrastructure, Public Works, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. Councillor Appleby is chair, and Councillor Manning is follow-up, so I'm the third person on the totem pole, but I'll give it a shot, because I wasn't at this meeting either. Sorry.
Well, you're the
I
only
get
one-
I
you're
get a
the
chance to
only
speak
mayor.
3 times for something I was not at, which is doesn't
It's
look too
it's
good.
an update anyway.
Yeah, there's no motion.
It's not, yeah.
Um, Yeah, I just ran down through it earlier, and I wanted to highlight the things that actually changed, I guess, from the last time we may have looked. And Brian, you can jump in and let me know if there's anything else that I missed. The water distribution model under the C there for new projects for 2025. Director has requested consultants fees for a number of consultants that the town has worked with in the past, so we can get them on the board and start getting some work or approvals in place once we get that done. Wetlands sewer study project. 1 second, let me get rid of this stupid. So Brian is arranging a meeting with the Department of Transportation Infrastructure to discuss the best path forward with that project. As you know, that was the one that was stalled, I guess, because they're saying that we didn't go out and look for all the best possible availabilities, technology availabilities, but we say we did, and so we'll get around that and straighten that up and hopefully move that project forward. Generator project is out to tender, and the deadline's been extended. We get the deadline?
Close this year.
Closed, okay, good. Any number of responses?
I've got him, I'm just waiting on the recommendation letter from the,
Okay, thanks. Stormwater, next phase of that project, the draft tender is now in the process of being reviewed. The wastewater treatment plant for North Pond, as part of the RFQ process, 3 proponents have been selected. You know, we had some conversations about that last meeting or in between meetings, whatever, concerning the potential honorariums for people to use and things of that nature. So the RFP is now with TI and Water Resource Management for the final review. Brian, you have any idea when that might come back and get out? I know you say it's gonna be spring and fall for construction.
Yeah, we're still on track if long as nothing big comes out of the review, I guess.
Okay. Reference to the bylaws, they're in the process of doing that, as all the departments in the town have to update the bylaws now based under the new act. And other than that, your worship, there's nothing else that stands out there. Fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? All right, recreation and community services. Nobody here from there. You wanna handle that, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'm the alternate on that one, so. All right. They met on the 12th. Rhonda and Trina and Jen. Summer programs is busy. I guess that's the events, but it's interesting that it's interesting to note that the website that for those positions is now online for the summer students. Time and Torbay, the director updated the committee that they've met with Kerry and both of the recreation coordinators to discuss plans for a time in Torbay. So I take it that this is the weekend of August 2nd and 3rd is now being decided on, so that can get out to the public. NHL Alumni event has been partnered with NHL Alumni for a speaking event for the youth on March 26th. And Best of Torbay Awards, okay, this is the nominations for the various groups. And if that one is probably not in there, I thought there was a listing, maybe we can get that one for the History House and that as well. In there?
You mean for the Hall of Fame one?
No, it's not the Hall of Fame, it's one for Ralph, you're on the, I mentioned your name in there for
Yeah, it's the
Hall of Fame,
Hall of Fame.
yeah,
Yeah,
nominations
that's a
for
separate
people
event,
that
isn't it?
were in.
Yeah, that's a separate event, yeah.
Yeah, that's a separate one I think History House is doing, is it?
Yeah.
It said that it was going to be announced, though, with the same date as going to be at that one.
No, I think that one is April 26th and the Best of Torbay is April 27th.
Oh,
One's on a
okay.
Saturday and one's on a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
But we can certainly
I thought
promote it.
where-
We can
yeah.
certainly promote it at the center if needed.
Separate, yeah.
Okay, I didn't
Yep.
well, I just saw the 2 dates, so I just assumed that, so that's good to know. Best of Torbay, okay, that's what. History House, the facility supervisor provided an update on the findings from the investigation, so that's what I talked about earlier as well. Hold on, now I gotta scroll down. Incidents at the Torbay Common, the director updated committee on several incidents that have occurred at this facility in the last few weeks. Inappropriate behavior, vandalism, and disrespect comments towards staff members. So I take it, is that from people outside and the vandalism and that? Or can you, because I think that is important for the residents to know where this is coming from.
Yeah, most of it relates to just residents, vandalism, trying to set things on fire, vandalism inside and outside the building, all kinds of different things.
Mostly
Inappropriate comments to staff.
So when that happens, do we call the RNC or commissioners, or what happens then?
We call the commissioners, but we also, if it's warranted, we'll call the RNC as well and get them to investigate. We also in the process of, we also can ban certain individuals from the center if needed.
Yep.
So we're in the process of that as well in a couple of those instances.
Good, thank you.
Is it at a particular time of day that most of these are, like, is it in the evening?
Some of it's in the evening, but it's pretty random. Like could be daytime,
It's a safety
weekends,
issue for
evenings.
staff. That's what I'm getting at.
It's definitely a safety issue, yeah,
Should we
for
consider,
staff.
you know, more security or whatever? We gotta have a discussion on it before something happens.
Well, if they're doing that, the big concern now that brighter evenings, you get the smaller children going down there and their parents, and then from what I understand, it's the same number of few people that reoccurring all the
yeah.
time, so, you know, there's got to be consequences for that, so hopefully, you know, Age-friendly assessment. The assessment survey is now available on town social media, and physical copies available at the Torbay Common. I got this and I had a question about this. For people who don't go to the Common for anything, and we have a lot of residents that visit, or I'd normally go to the Common, but I haven't really been there, say, since Christmas. Can we get a poster, or can we get copies of this survey, or even some information, a poster to put up to say that what age-friendly is, and to identify that that's available, the hard copies if they want it? Because I feel like it's just something, and to me, when I looked at age-friendly, it was like from newborn up to 100. If you're able to walk and breathe, you were considered to be part of any of that. So I just like for that, if it's going to be out there, we need to get in contact with the residents that don't know anything about it. And because I hear so often from the people who live out Pine Ridge, out in that area, where they really, and I know a lot of it, and I, can be that, but they say that they don't come down this far, and I don't know where you'd need to put information for people out in that area to get it, because, and if they're not on our site or whatever, so that's another issue that's out there, and people say to me all the time about it. Safe Action Community Plan. The Jen has updated the committee that a meeting is planned with the high school administration to discuss the topic of starting a youth advisory committee on various topics, including safe communities. That's an excellent idea. And the event that I guess that's what we were talking about, that committee, that the proposed event that a business was interested in, it will, in holding in August, will not happen this year. They're hoping to do it next in 2026. And that's it.
All right, thank you.
Just one comment, and
Go ahead.
I don't know, we decided on the review of security. Is that going to go back to committee for discussion? We're going to try to get the commissioners to increase frequency of visits down at the Common and things of that nature. I know
Ken.
Councillor Tapper mentioned it, but they didn't, just kind of said, yeah, and then we didn't make a plan to how we're going to review it.
Sandy, can't you just look after that?
Well, we can. I mean, it can be discussed at committee, but obviously we had to balance that,
Yeah.
with the need and the cost and so forth. But I think it's definitely worth a discussion.
Can I
Yeah,
ask, do we still have the commissioners?
Oh, yes.
we
I
do.
haven't
Yeah.
seen-
No, not commissioners.
No,
Municipal
Fair
enforcement.
enforcement.
Yeah, but
We're not called
I
commissioners.
haven't seen any
Commissioners
of
is
them
company, yeah.
around, whoever they
Yeah.
are, whatever kind of informs,
Yeah.
I see them all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, they don't come in my way.
Can I just ask a question there, and I've been meaning to ask it for a while, and I probably mention it to, I don't know what director or who I've mentioned it to, but in the past, and I guess probably Brian, this will go back to you, that in the past when we had security in that here, I know when they were with planning, when Julia had them, they used to come in once a month and give an update on what was happening from their perspective, and they were also required to give a report. And when that report came in, then that went out in the planning, in the package, saying how many incidents that that took place and how much they were involved in.
Certainly. I do get reports, like Sarah, I get weekly, I think they're weekly or bi-weekly reports. I haven't been bringing them to committee, but if something comes up, for instance, if there's a incident at the Common, I would send that report on to Jen, so then she could deal with it on her side.
But I think
right?
that it'd be good to have a report so that residents at least know, and we'd know as a council to know that, are they serving a purpose? Because there's one thing driving around is when we had the enforcement officer and we were paying them and they probably never got a dog for 2 years. So like, what are they doing? Because I have to honestly say, I don't see them. One time when they were on the go, you'd see them. So what are their hours of work now, Brian?
I'd have to go back and check, because we put them on winter hours. Yeah, they're on winter hours for snow clearing, so they're,
See, that was one thing, and I'll say it right up front, and I don't mean to be, get into this, but this is a prime example off a winter, and even if they did in the last few years, how much snow that they had. And I think that that was something that it was Portugal Cove St. Phillips, because we were in partnership, that they had them, because the whole time that we had them before, we never had anywhere, even if they got a ticket, there was no follow-up. And that's something to have as a report, like how many tickets did they give this year? And I'm willing to bet 0, because we never had enough snow. But here we are, like down at the Common, and having issues taking place, and yet we're putting them on because there might be somebody parked on the side of the road. Like, it don't make, and can I ask that to come back and be talked about? Because when we hired them last time, remember, that was my kick that I was on, and I was one of the ones that kept saying we need to get them back in the community.
Right.
And it just doesn't make sense.
So, to that point, right, let us get the information. Brian can forward the reports on to the committee. The committee can look at it, figure out about the hours, because it don't serve any purpose for us to be talking about it when we don't have the information.
No, but I'm just saying, if they're in the nighttime, if that's when they're out just for winter
They are.
hours, because I know that that was something that Portugal Cove wanted them doing. And it wasn't necessarily a need that we had here. And I think the reports then need to come into, for all of council to be able to see them.
Right, so we can send that back to the committee to look at. All right,
All right, thanks.
thank you. Where am I to?
Liaison committees?
Yes. That the Mayor's Congress, I don't have any update. Intergovernmental Affairs. No update. Jack Byrne. No updates. Northeast South Luncheon Council. I see their minutes are there.
There was no, I have no update. I didn't attend the meeting the other night. Ralph, did you attend
I
one
didn't.
Wednesday night?
No.
Okay.
Meeting out.
RNC, I don't have any update. We just gave them $1,500 for their program. Here's your update. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, minutes are there. UMC committee is meeting the end of this month in Marystown. I believe Councilor Tapper's going. Right?
If I have to.
And we'll see you then. We'll report back after that. Okay, notice of motion, none. New business. Everybody passed except me. All I have is just my regular thanks to everybody for the hard work that you put in the last couple of weeks, both our staff and council. And I just want to say thank you and good work. Good job. Thank you. All right, Q&A. I had a question came in, actually. Interesting. From Deborah Dawson. I'll read it out. Given that there is a freeze on new water allocations until further notice, has there been any consideration for alternate acceptable water sources that home builders can take advantage of until new water allocations become available with the new sources being planned? Specifically, consider rainwater catchment as a short-term option, which would be an eco and water-saving addition to any property once water connections to the public system are put in place. Thank you. Deborah, that's interesting. The town did have a available water source study done a number of years ago. Peck did it, our engineering company. And at that time, we looked at, wow, okay, it was called a water alternative study. Now I got it. And at that time, they looked at the entire town to figure out where our best sources of water were. They looked at our well capacity that we have now, the flows of the water. There was quite extensive amount of work done on it. The town has been, we have left no stone unturned when it comes to looking for new sources of water. We even looked at desalination, we looked at deep water wells. We looked at everything. And I've never heard of this particular option before, but for a municipal water supply, any municipal water supply that's supplied by the town would have to be a treated water supply. So I don't know where this would would fall. But hopefully we're gonna hear some good news soon regarding where we're going with water, so, everybody knows that we have an application in the federal government. We've been talking about it for years, and, hopefully we'll hear some good news on that soon. Thank you very much for your question. If you want to ask any additional, question about that, please feel free to email our Public Works Director, Brian Winter, bwinter@torbay.ca, and he can talk to you more about water and what types of potential water that we could have.
They may also want to reach out to the Government Service Center Public Health Agency. They would have lots of information on water as well.
Yeah, and yes.
Personal
that's-
water.
That's good. Actually, you can just call Brian and he'll give you all the information about where to call. Okay, perfect. There you go. Thank you, Kim. All right. With that, our next public council meeting is scheduled to take place March 31st, 2025, right here at 6:30 in the Torbay Council Chambers. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much.
45 minutes on the dot.
Close to a record.